If you destroy an entire generation of people's culture, it's as if they never existed.
We got company.
Frank, we gotta go!
That's what Hitler wants. And it's the one thing we can't allow.
So we get to shoot some Nazis?
What's this movie all about, guys? Because I think it can have many readings. It can be an anti-war film, a movie about preserving art.
I think it's about the spirit of some great heroes that are unusual heroes, because they're not heroes by killing people or doing anything that resembles what you think of when you go to war. But they went to war for something they deeply, deeply cared about, and they were successful. I think it's a story about goodness.
It's your responsibility now.
I've never shot at anyone before.
How's George Clooney in particular? How it is to work with him?
He's wonderful to work with. He's wonderful with actors. He's extremely well prepared. He's a great storyteller, and he's a very funny man.
So you want to go into a war zone with some architects and artists and tell our boys what they can and cannot blow up.
That's right.
I don't think any of us knew the extent of this story at all. They didn't know there was a core that went after this thing, didn't know how large the systematic looting had been. And the more you learned about it, the more mind-boggling it became.
It's a very hard story to tell, and it's very hard. I think it was hard to get the story out after the war because the personal devastation of concentration camps and how many Russians were killed and the Holocaust is so enormous that nobody wanted to put this other story next to it because it was hard to know how to place it. And one of the things the movie does very nicely is help you understand why this was an important story.
I think the stories of World War II are so vast, and so there's so many of them that this one kind of got lost in the shuffle until now.
Time to put a team together and do our best to protect buildings, bridges, and art before the Nazis destroy everything.
How many men?
6.
Jesus.
Well, with you at 7.
That's much better.
You know, I think when you stand in front of the objects themselves, or when you see the paintings or the sculptures, you realize the tragedy. I mean, I feel badly when I break a Christmas ornament. I feel terribly about it because I think it's a precious thing that's iconic to me, and it's something that I treasure in my family. The idea that you could have something far more beautiful, far larger, that's affected millions of people, hundreds of thousands of people, and that could disappear forever. It's stunning. It would stun you. And I think that the lesson is that this kind of looting can never be allowed to happen. That the cultural artifacts should always be respected, no matter what kind of craziness goes on in the world.
What have you got? I seem to have stepped on a landmine.
Why would you do something like that?
What do you got?
Lieutenant here seems to have found himself on top of an unexploded mine.
Why would you do that?
You all been spending too much time together.
Yeah!